Jill.
This is the fifth and final episode of our week-long dive into the money behind the major initiatives on the November ballot. And this time we're switching it up.
It feels really strange.
You're usually here interviewing me.
Yeah, this is really uncomfortable.
It's because today we're talking about Measure J, which you've been reporting on since
August 2016.
So let's start there. Tell us all about what this is and why you're so obsessed.
I'm not obsessed, I'm just a big fan of transparency. So this measure is very simple. It's all about the city of San Diego knowing who they're doing business with. It requires companies doing transactions with the city to disclose all of the people who stand to benefit from the deal.
And there's a lot of history behind this measure, right? Something about a mobster?
Yeah, it's a great story, at least I think so. So in 1990, there was a San Diego Housing Commission meeting. The city wanted to buy 2 housing complexes for about $47 million to use for affordable housing. But one councilman, Bruce Henderson, wanted a bit more information about the purchase. Here he is 26 years later talking about that day.
I need to know, for my own sake, what financial interests are in front of us. I mean, who are we going to be buying this from? Who's going to get this money? And the staff's response was quite literally, it's none of your business, Mr. Henderson.
Who was it?
Who was what?
Who was going to get the $47 million?
Oh, that. So get this, Henderson investigated and eventually found out that the person selling the properties was an alleged mobster named Al Malnick. Henderson made a big stink about it, and eventually the mayor agreed and sided with him and said San Diego officials should always know who they're doing business with. That led to a public vote to amend the city charter with Section 225. More than 86% of voters approved it in 1992.
That sounds very similar to what we're talking about today, Measure J.
Yeah, because it's the same thing. We did a story about this in 2016 and found that the city of San Diego never actually enforced Section 225. So that's despite all the people that voted for it and 3 different city attorneys who told the city to pay attention to it. It's nuts. Down is up, left is right.
And city officials told you the reason it was never enforced was because it was too vague?
Yeah, and the whole deal with this new measure, with Measure J, is that it makes the language of that 1992 law crystal clear so there can't be any more excuses. That's basically all it does.
So now let's talk about the money behind this measure. Who's funding Measure J?
No one, not a soul.
What?
Surprise!
What?
This episode has nothing to do with funding because there actually isn't any. I just wanted to remind San Diegans how much of their money is at stake behind Measure J.
This feels like we're cheating.
We're not. Get this. So I asked for the disclosures behind more than $500 million in city transactions. So these are things like real estate purchases, sales, leases, and more than $500 million in city contracts. Now get this, not one sale, purchase, lease, contract had all the disclosures that were required, not one.
So the city spends billions each year in taxpayer money on these private companies.
Yep.
And there's a law that's supposed to disclose who's behind these companies.
Yep.
And nearly everyone voted for that law a long time ago.
But it's not being enforced, and Measure J will fix that.
You've also mentioned in your stories something about Delaware LLCs. Can you talk about that?
Delaware LLCs are the most impenetrable corporate structures in America when it comes to knowing who's behind them. And if this proposition passes, those corporations will be required to disclose who's behind them. And as far as I can tell, San Diego will be the only U.S. city to mandate this kind of disclosure.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Brad Racino, thank you.
Jill Castellano, thank you.